Good evening and a very warm welcome to your evening news bulletin with Television Tonga. Making headlines, Honourable Prime Minister Lord Duvano, in his inaugural speech to mark the connection of the fibre optic cable to its landing station in Nuku'alofa, says this is a new epoch for communication. Whaletia Whātu'u yesterday appointed to the chiefly title of Puleiku and search for Hermani Lopeti and Amoni Fifita, the two detainees who are still at large for 3 weeks now, continues. These are more stories together with news from around the region, sports, world and the latest weather forecast. I'm Fatai Whainga'a with the news for tonight. The Honourable Prime Minister Lord Duvano, in his inaugural speech to mark the arrival of the fibre optic cable to its landing station at Sopota Whāahau this morning, praised the new epoch of communication that has arrived our shores. This was during a special ceremony to mark the connection of the cable to its headquarter, Tonga Cable Limited. Sinlatu reports.
After 1.5 weeks, the fibre optic cable connected from Suva, Fiji to Tonga arrived in Nuku'alofa. This will enable better quality communication. A special ceremony to mark the occasion was held at the landing station, attended by the Honourable Prime Minister Lord Tuivakano.
Today marks the arrival of the submarine cable for the first time ever. There has been a vision and a plan for this important project, and today it arrives safely into our shores. It is a blessing for the kingdom. This too provides more opportunities for Tonga, and as planned, the internet will be faster, more capacity and cheaper. Everyone will have a chance to be connected at any time, anywhere. Improved and more affordable connectivity lowers transaction costs, creates new economic opportunities and increased services delivery options.
Meanwhile, the Honourable Deputy Prime Minister Sami Waipulu says these are the foundations of development in communications.
Lord Prime Minister, landing of the cable would be one of the cornerstones of that development and the wish of government to enable the private sector.
This project is to the tune of 66 million pa'anga. 80% of this money is funded by the World Bank together with the Asian Development Bank, and 20% is funded by Tonga Communication Corporation or TCC. The local representative of Asian Development Bank and the World Bank, Saya Faletau, says this initiative will open doors for more economic and social opportunities in the future.
Tonga's isolation and other constraints to economic development may be mitigated in part by improved access to and more affordable telecommunications, especially high-speed broadband internet, which offers new economic opportunities domestically as well as connection to larger markets and new avenue for delivery of services nationally and internationally.
The first phase of this project is now complete, and the second phase is connecting this cable from Nuku'alofa to the outer islands, which will commence later. For Television Tonga News, I'm Sinlatu.
Cabinet has approved the 2013-2014 budget estimate on the theme Continuing to Create Opportunities by Building on Inclusive Sustainable Growth. A statement from the Ministry of Finance and National Planning says Cabinet approved the new budget estimate on Friday, May 31st. It has been submitted to the Speaker of the Legislative Assembly, Lord Fafanua, last Friday. According to the new statement, government has a clear plan to build a growing economy in order to create more jobs and increase incomes in the face of ongoing economic uncertainty in the world. The budget estimate, therefore, focuses on the priority sectors that are consistent with the Tonga Strategic Development Framework priorities and also articulated in a budget strategy, namely private sector development, community development, productive and effective public sector, and sustainable fiscal consolidation. The total appropriation in the budget, which covers all cash transactions, is 249.1 million, of which 198.8 million is government control. Finance from government revenue plus budget support of 35.7 million and 50.3 million per anga for development projects financed from cash grants from development partners. There will be no increase in revenue fees and charges, except that school fees of government schools are expected to rise in the first term of 2015. Private businesses in Tonga were given advice on labelling, marketing and packaging of local-made products. This was the highlight of a training led by the Ministry of Commerce, Tourism and Labour to help businesses sell their products to overseas markets. Sinlatu with more on that story.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Ministry, Tatafu Moyaki, says this is for businesses to obtain the right skills and experiences needed to improve packaging of their products to meet international standards. The government's aim is for local-made products to be shipped overseas and in high quality. The chance for these products to be sent overseas needs to be endorsed. One of the important things in marketing is labeling, not only packing, but also designing the packs, which needs to look presentable, and other things that needs to give clear information on the package. Leading the team of successful business owners and directors from Fiji and New Zealand sent to the Kingdom to provide the training is the CEO of Punja, Yogesh Punja. Mr. Punja says Tonga is probably 20 years behind world market trend, and they're in Tonga to share their experience.
See, what I'm giving you at the moment is what I call the salt in the food. When you make a curry, or whatever you want to make, you have all the ingredients, but if you don't have salt, it doesn't taste right. So the packaging and the design element makes that salt happen. So the reality is that many of us have not thought the process through.
Part of what they hope to achieve at the end of this program is certifying 6 companies in the Kingdom. There is hope that this will further Tonga's capabilities on exporting local-made products to overseas markets such as New Zealand, Australia and Fiji. This initiative will also inject more income into the local economy and families. For Television Tonga News, I'm Sinlatu.
The estate holder of Watu'u, Lord Duverano, urged the newly installed Puleiku of Watu'u to be responsible of his new duties bestowed upon him, to love his village, people and noble, for this will promote peace among the community. This was delivered by Lord Duverano's talking chief, Tu'u Tauaki Loto, during the installation of the new Puleiku. Pierre Ollier reports.
Families, friends and residents of Watu'u cheered and supported for newly installed Puleiku, who used to be known by the name Feletieke. Mr. Eke is replacing the late Puleiku who passed away in April this year. I represent the estate holder in his good spirit to appoint you, Feletieke, to the talking chief title of Puleiku. The kawa is a covenant with God in the presence of people. Love the people and your duties, and you will witness peace in the village. The crowd also envy Puleiku that obedience is an important factor of being a leader. This was a dream come true. Lord Duverano, you've blessed my family with this great honor, and we are fortunate of it. May Puleiku fulfill his job to the utmost. Puleiku is the eldest son of late Aisake Walueke and Sendilaeke of Watu'u. He is married to Meleaneeke with 3 children. During the same program, 5 chiefly titles of Vaisio Ata, Makalisingia, Vaiutoku Talafekau, Amohekonokono, and Whengafono were also bestowed among the villagers. Pierre Ollier for Television Tonga News.
Police has named the 2 detainees that are still at large for 3 weeks now. The accused were Hermani Lopeti, aged 39 of Whangaloto, and Amoni Fifita, aged 29 of Konopolu, who has fled one of the police vehicles in Nuku'alofa. The acting Deputy Police Commissioner Inspector Salote Tonga told Radio and Television Tonga News the couple escaped from a police vehicle when returned from the Fasimoyafi Magistrate, heading towards the Nuku'alofa police station. They were kept under custody after being accused of theft and housebreak and entry to appear in court at a later date. There is hope that Tonga and its accommodation and products will be promoted effectively to overseas tourists. This is what promotes a tourism marketing workshop held in Nuku'alofa for representatives from several tourism industries. Pierre Oli again with more on that story.
These are the representatives from various tourism industries and related stakeholders taking part in a workshop to enhance their knowledge of marketing. The Deputy Secretary of the Ministry of Commerce, Tourism and Labour, Kolotia Fotu, says they are working together with the South Pacific Tourism Organization in Fiji. This workshop focuses on strengthening skills of staff of all tourism industries to help promote their services to overseas tourists, and as it will benefit their industry financially. Meanwhile, representatives from the SPTO, Chris Corker, says they hope to teach the participants how to use social networks like Facebook and Twitter to advertise their products.
For your product or service to be known overseas, it needs to be promoted in this case. So this marketing workshop will help them better prepare themselves in marketing their individual products and also presenting themselves in a better way. And that's how I said it's connected to your marketing campaign, because the marketing campaign's objective is basically to promote the whole of Tonga. These individual private sector need to actually promote their products individually to back up this whole marketing campaign.
This 2 days workshop is funded by European Union. Pierre Ollier for Television Tonga News.
3 Asian men have been charged for possession of illegal undersized sea cucumber. Jie Bing Zhou, Yuan Kong and Lin Wen Dong have been charged and will reappear at the magistrate court with their counsel Melekior. Lin Yen was also charged for managing of illegal processing of seafood. The trio were arrested during an operation from the Ministry of Police and Ministry of Fisheries, which also confiscated sea cucumber from Hawaii, estimated at more than 200,000 pa'anga. And that's local news. Pacific is up next.